Alright, you guys, I know what you're saying. Who are you, and where are the recent videos? Yeah, I'm guilty, and just need to say that I didn't mean to kind of disappear as long as I have. I think it's been about 3 months or so since I last made a video, which I'm not really that happy about, but what can you do? So, I wanted to do a quick update and also test the live video functionality since I haven't used it before on YouTube. So, I wanted to address where I've been, what's going on, all of that, and maybe even give some thoughts real quick about recent events around the world. Well, not around the world, in the US, that everyone knows what I'm talking about. So, where I've been basically is just not really here on YouTube making and posting videos, as everyone watching already knows. Really just been working from home. That's still going after 3 months of not being in the office. I'm very grateful I am able to do my job still from home, and it's quite nice, I admit. And you get kind of spoiled a little bit with it, with it to some extent. But yeah, that's going good. So still working. That's good. Other than that, no band rehearsal for the last 3 months. That's really sucked. We were supposed to play a show or two in the last month or so, and all of those have obviously been rescheduled for October or something ridiculously far away. But yeah, that's about it for me. Not doing much other than playing guitar, playing video games, and a lot of sleeping because I'm a bum. So, that's basically it. The reason I haven't really been doing the YouTube videos, if I'm honest, is really because I just kind of got burned out, I think, honestly. I know I've alluded to it in other videos. I basically have kind of given my process on how I make the videos, and of course, it's very complicated and it's a whole thing. So it's kind of frustrating, but what can you do? Really, all I do is I record everything in one take. So every video on my channel since the very beginning has all been done in one take, and what you see is the best result. That's the secret, and it's really not a secret, I know. But I'm not great at editing, and I don't really have a good editing software to make that easier. So everything I do is set up in advance. The green screen, that's been in the last several videos. That's really helpful. The way the last several videos have been is how I've always wanted them to be from the very beginning. I didn't really have a working version of PowerPoint in the beginning, so I couldn't use it. And, I really did want the stuff off to the side, and me kind of imposed in front. I thought that was a really cool format. I saw that from Dr. Grande. His older videos did that for a while. Big inspiration to this channel is his channel. He just hit 300,000 subscribers earlier in the week, so congratulations to Dr. Grande on that. I'm glad to be glad to be part of that statistic. I've been subscribed since before he had 200,000 subscribers, which I think was back in February or March. So he's gained a lot of subscribers in a little over 100 some days, I think he said. So very excited about that. Phenomenal content. He's been doing a lot of stuff with serial killers and related true crime videos. He obviously has the time, so he's been doing like videos like every other day, which is phenomenal. So very glad for him. And speaking of subscribers, I have recently learned that I am now up to 11 subscribers, almost at the level of Dr. Grande, but I have a ways to go. But hey, that's okay, because let's be honest, I didn't do this thinking I was going to have 5 subscribers, let alone over 10. So I'm very happy with that. And like I said, I'm sorry for kind of falling off the bandwagon with the videos. It really is just I got burned out. I was, staying up all hours of the night and running around filming this stuff and green screens and lighting, and it takes a lot to set up. And then I have to make the whole presentation ahead of time, to have behind me. And then I have to get that in order, how I want to present it in order. And then I kind of have to form my conversation bits. And then I got to set up the green screen. And then I have to set up the lighting. Because if you don't have the right lighting on it, it's not going to look right. And it's going to be really hard to try to correct in the OBS software. So it just takes so much time. And then I have to film me doing this entire presentation no less than 4 times before I get the best take I can. And that is what gets posted to the internet. So it's a crazy, crazy process. It takes a lot of time. And because I don't really do any minimal, if any, editing, post-filming, post-production stuff, since I don't really do any of that, because I don't have great software or the patience to sit down and splice up my video and cut it all, paste it together, I can't even put into words how stressful that would be for me. I would rather spend 5 times tripping over the same words, or saying something in the wrong order and having to restart all over again from the very beginning and reshoot from the very beginning. It's very easy to cut up audio in Reaper or Audacity and just splice the rest together. Reaper's very helpful for that. With ripple editing on it, just you cut out whatever part you don't want. There's a long pause or breathing, or you say the wrong word, and you can just go right in and just, right before the word and punch it back in, and that's what you get. Can't do that really with the video. It's a lot more complicated. So that's how I do it, though. So it is a lot of work, but I'm very proud of the result I get from taking all that time to get it all set up. So the videos are not going anywhere, and the channel is going to continue full speed ahead, hopefully not into an iceberg, because, well, we all know what happened there. But it's very true. It takes a lot of time, but I've been doing podcasts still on the podcast site, Beansprout, whatever it's called, Buzzsprout, Beansprout. I don't know what that is. I don't think that's a podcast site. But yeah, so I've been doing that here and there, a few posts on there. Like I said, it's a lot easier to set up a microphone to start talking and, you know, not worry about the visual component. But then again, I take a lot of pride, and I like the way the visual stuff works. It's the format I've really always wanted to do. So now that I get it working and I see how much work it is, I kind of reconsider my options. But the videos will continue to come. I have ideas for some other ones. I got about a quarter of the way through creating the presentation for the antidepressant video, and that's basically when I kind of said, nah, I don't want to do this video. But I might revisit that at some point. But frankly, trying to talk about classifications of drugs, that's going to be a long video. All my videos are long, and I really kind of hate that. I wish it was a way to be a lot simpler, but trying to always get a lot of material, big topic, and trying to get a lot of details in without having to make 3-part videos of, BPD, just the 9 traits, break it down 3 in one video that may be, 10 minutes long. That doesn't interest me. I'd rather get all 9 of them described in detail in a 25-minute video, but that's just me, I'd rather see the full content and all at once and move on. But that's just me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say for that. But the videos will continue. And as always, if you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know, because I'm always looking for new ideas. So that's just me. I'm sending a test chat thing just to see what it does. I don't know. Anyway, as far as the current events go, I will go right off the bat, just like I do for everything I post on this channel in terms of mental health content and the education factor that I try to do in all my content. I am not a politician. I don't understand politics. I don't get involved in discussions of politics or religion or anything else. I just live my life. Shit happens in the world, and I just try to survive like everyone else, So nothing I say is going to be really directly related to what happened to George Floyd. I was actually away in the Poconos all of last weekend, when this was really kicking up. And I really had no idea that all of this stuff was happening until afterwards, when I came back and had full internet signal and was on Facebook and seeing all this stuff. I will say I haven't seen the actual video of what happened. I have no intention of seeing that. If somebody strapped me to a chair and said, watch it, no. Well, I guess I don't really have a choice. But as long as I have the option, I don't accidentally stumble upon it or something and just get kind of mesmerized and say, well, it's here. I might as well figure out what's going on. I've read all about the situation, and I've heard things that the head officer who had his knee on his head or neck had a history with George Floyd. Some sort of business arrangement that kind of went wonky. And what happened might have been personal, not a race issue. Now, of course, no one's ever gonna, even if that does come out as the truth, as it already kind of is, um, people are not going to really pay attention to it. They're going to see what they're going to see, and it is what it is. A lot of people don't want to see fact. They don't want to do research. They figure the cop was white, the guy was black, therefore it must be a race crime. And I don't really agree with that logic. I think it's going to take some time. It's been, a week now, something like that, since it actually happened. And now, like I said, there are new discoveries coming out about whether or not this officer, I don't know names, but the officer who really restrained him with his leg on his neck. See, I'm not using terms like, the murderer, the murdering officer. I don't want to talk like that. But the officer who was primarily restraining Mr. Floyd, like I said, they are coming out with new revelations about a past history, some sort of business, something like that. And it seems likely, based on that this was something personal. It had nothing to do with race or anything else. The other thing, apparently, is that Mr. Floyd is not a model citizen. You always hear people, he was an innocent, great man. He never did anything wrong to anyone. How could this happen? Well, apparently, people that are actually into research and fact-checking certain statistics and things, as all people should be doing, but often don't. I gotta stop talking. I talk so much I start yawning. I swear. But what was I saying? Yeah, people are doing some more digging and fact checking into Mr. Floyd, and apparently he's had quite a life of crime. Something about pointing a gun at a pregnant woman's stomach, and that's scary. He was on numerous substances when he was originally pulled over from the gas station the day of the incident. So I just don't think people really care about the reality of what really happened, why it happened. It's going to be a race thing. And it's kind of sad that that's where people's heads always go. So I would strongly encourage people, fact check, do some digging, look into what are the real reasons this could have happened, and to the protesters, the peaceful protesters, I should clarify, they have a right to protest as long as it's peaceful. To oh man, to the people who are blocking police cars and emergency services vehicles in the middle of the street, to the people who are burning down businesses that have already been closed or essential even, to people who are destroying companies and businesses who are already hurting from this damn virus and being shut up for over 3 months now, or whatever it's been. What's the point? People are so into this idea of justice for George Floyd. Well, here's the thing. What is justice going to look like for George Floyd? What does that look like? Would it be, the officer gets charged with first-degree murder, spends life in jail. Is it death penalty? Is it destroying your own city that you live in and everything in it? And then not having stores to go to because it's been looted and robbed and burned. I mean, I saw a video on Facebook. I almost cried seeing this. There was a guy, a homeless man, literally having his mattress, his bed, well, I use air quotes, but literally, his bed, his mattress, being lit on fire in the middle of the fucking street where he lived, resided. I wish I could say that was a joke. That'd be a horrific joke, but I wish I could say it was. No, it was real fucking life. I saw it, video on Facebook. And this guy, this homeless man, is screaming at the top of his lungs at all these people in the crowd filming this. That's my house. That's my bed. What the fuck are you doing? And like, I kind of cried when he started saying that because it's true. And people don't care. People are taking advantage of what happened to Floyd, and they're using it for their own agenda. You know, if you want to steal a store, steal a store. If you want to steal from a store or burn down a store, whatever you're going to do, you could have done that on any other day at any other time. But no, these people wait until there's a incident and the police are looking bad to some people, and all of a sudden it becomes a whole thing, and people take advantage of an already bad situation. I know we've been cooped up for months in our houses. We have to run around wearing masks and hand sanitizer and all this stuff, okay? But there's already going to be businesses that can't get back on their feet when this is all done. There's already going to be places that are closed for good. Restaurants, bars, you name it. I'm at a bar band. I play bars primarily. What happens when 1 out of 10 of them can't reopen? Well, that's bad enough. That's because of the virus. Now you have to factor in, what if it's destroyed? What if they lose all their product? Then what? You know, it's absurd. Absolutely absurd. And the funny thing is, while people are running around doing these crimes, because, yes, stealing and burning and arson is a crime, who do you think gets called in to try to fix these problems and eradicate these crimes? Well, I don't think they're calling doctors. I don't think they're calling construction workers. Oh, that's right. They're going to call the police. The same people that you're so upset about, this and that. What happens when someone breaks in your house and tries to rob you? What do? I'll tell you what you do. You call the police. The same people that you have a problem with are the same people you call when there's a problem. Isn't it ironic? I think so. And all I can say is just more to this story, and these crimes that people are running around doing have nothing to do with justice for George Floyd. And again, I challenge anyone who says that it is. What does that justice look like? Because let me tell you something, okay? Now, this has nothing to do with police, okay? But this has everything to do with murder, right? One of the first things that really shocked me about all of this was the reaction that this man's death gave people. People reacted so strongly, so negatively to the situation. And I questioned. I said, What is it about this George Floyd guy? Why is he so instrumental in inciting these reactions to people? People die every day. People aren't rioting. People aren't protesting. Why is this guy so special? This guy isn't even a model citizen. This guy's a criminal. He's been in jail, drug issues, and like I said, pointing a gun at a pregnant woman's stomach. I mean, and he was on numerous drugs, and there was something about the counterfeit cash the day of the incident. So, why is this guy being held as some sort of, we must do better kind of thing, when this guy is not the model citizen that people portray people to be? And I'm not saying he deserved to die. Obviously, that's not true. But now that it happened, why is he the one who is inciting all of this violence and this rage and this anger? What is it? I don't get it. Especially once the truth comes out that this was an inside personal problem with this officer and not a race thing. Again, most people are still going to reject it, throw it to the wind, and say, it doesn't matter. It's a race thing. But whatever. Think what you want. But, they are uncovering that backstory. And it makes a lot of sense. So, all I can say is, I don't know what these people think justice for this man is going to look like. Because my father was murdered 4.5 some years ago. Okay? November 19th this year will be 5 years. Okay? Like I said, has nothing to do with cops, per se. Was a jealous ex-boyfriend, or rather ex-husband, of his girlfriend, my dad's girlfriend. And he must have felt jealous and angry. He had numerous verbal altercations with my father, and, eventually led to him getting a restraining order against this man. They were supposed to have a court date about a month before he was murdered. And the guy walked into her house where my dad was and walked up the steps, because it used to be his house, knew where to go, walked up the steps, walked in the room, blasted my father twice in the chest with a 12-gauge shotgun, point blank, walked back down the stairs, and blew his own head off. Yeah, exactly. The crime scene, the story of a fucking horrible 80s cop movie is my father's reality. It's the rest of my life. This is what I have to tell people. And I can tell you right now that there's no justice for my father. The man who did it was a coward, and he got away with literally murder. The restraining order did fuck all, because it's a piece of paper. Who cares? And that's it. There's no justice. And even if that man was alive, there is no justice. There's nothing that could happen to that man that would make me feel like justice is served. Sitting in life behind bars is not justice. The death penalty is not justice, because that takes 100 years to even go through. I mean, that's not good enough. Give me 5 minutes in a room with that man to tear every muscle, shred every ligament, break every bone, okay? And question that man to the point of insanity. Why? Why did you do what you did? And then throw him to the chair. But not before. Not before I get the truth and I make him suffer. That, to me, is the only way justice could ever be served for my father. To make that man feel inhuman. I've had dreams years ago about doing that. And that's the only thing in my mind that would ever make me feel any better about what happened. So the point is, whatever justice people think is for this George Floyd guy, George Floyd, I can't talk. Whatever justice people think is going to happen out of this, whatever they want to happen, there is no justice. What is justice? What's going to happen that's going to make people feel, okay, he won in the end, you know? I don't get it. Because, like I said, I'm telling you, the law was involved with my father and this man that came out, got a restraining order, did the whole thing, was supposed to have a court date, and never happened. Because now they're both dead. So, I don't know what justice people think is going to happen. You know, I don't. But either way, I don't have a true opinion on any of it. You know, these are my simple thoughts, things that frustrate me about these looters, these idiots that are destroying their own city, their own town, their own companies and stores that they go to are all gone. They're stolen. There's nothing left. They're burned to the ground, burning innocent, homeless man's mattress. And he's screaming at you. And you don't stop. I mean, where's justice for that man? That man that you just destroyed. The few things he even owned. I mean, I was so fucking aggravated when I saw that. I mean, I was crying like tears of rage. Like, I wanted to go buy this man a new mattress and find where he is and give it to him, kind of thing. I mean, there are no words for people. People act like animals, escaped from a zoo, and this is supposed to be justice for a dead man who was not innocent in his life. You know? Again, he did not deserve to die. I'm saying that again. Not saying he deserved to die. Especially not the way he did, according to what people have on video. Again, I haven't seen it. I don't have an intention of seeing it. But, you know, I know what happened. So, you know, we have to wait until the full story comes out on that. We find out what this interaction, this history with this officer is, how far it extended into whatever, and go from there. Until then, we can't jump to things. But that's our society. That's social media. Everything is instant gratification, instant knowledge. What you see is rarely what you get. But people take everything at face value. They put on their horse blinders and they go about their day. And it's really frustrating just because people don't fact check. People don't care about doing real research, really trying to understand. They just go and do their own thing, destroy their own buildings, and then what happens when your phone breaks tomorrow and you can't go to a T-Mobile store because there is no T-Mobile store because there's nothing in it because people went and stole? How does that help you? I don't understand. I do not understand. It has nothing to do with what happened to that man. It has everything to do with people being pent up in their house, going stir crazy, and they see an opportunity and they run with it. I hope they catch as many people as they can and they prosecute the hell out of them. Because stealing, whether it's after a murder or any other reason, is still illegal. What can I say? I'm not a law officer. I'm not a mental health expert. I'm just an ordinary person who is really disgusted by what I'm seeing in the news, on Facebook, and as such, it's basically why I haven't been on Facebook much, and I certainly don't really watch the news. So it's just a horrible state to be in after all this time of being shut out from the virus and changing the way we live and, going to the grocery store and not being able to find things you want or need. It's really frustrating. A week and a half ago, we were all together on this great virus trumping, voyage kind of thing. And now we're all divided because of this alleged race issue that is turning out to be the exact opposite. This guy had personal history with this officer, some sort of business thing. I don't remember what I read, but the point is there's more than just what happened that day, and people need to realize that. So, and the whole time people are talking about this being a race thing, right, and being profiled and stereotyped and all the stuff, what annoyed me about those kind of statements is people try to say, oh, I'm white, so therefore I'm not going to get it. Well, I got news for you, honey. Guess what? Race isn't the only thing that gets stereotyped, that gets prejudiced against, okay? That there isn't a stigma against, okay? Look at my video on mental health stigma. It's one of the best videos I did. I think it's the first or second most watched, most views for any video on my channel. And I loved doing that video, and I'd love to do a part 2 of it at some point because there's many more things I can go into with that. But do you really think that because I'm white, I've never felt pressure to conform to society? Do you really think I've never been a potential target for a hate crime because I'm gay, simply because of who I am? No different than my skin color. I don't choose that either. But I don't choose to be gay. That's certainly not a decision I ever signed off on. Maybe I did. Maybe I have amnesia. Maybe I hit my head. Who knows? But as far as I'm concerned, that's not a choice. Okay? And yes, I'm white. Yes, I have opportunities. Yes, I have a good job. I went to college for a while. I did a whole thing. Been working for over 8 years now, and, I've had a lot of good things happen. I've had a lot of horrible things happen, and that's just the way it is. But between mental illness and sexuality, I'm 2 times already prejudiced and looked against by society. It's not the same as if I was black. That would just be another thing I'd have to deal with in life, for sure. But that doesn't mitigate the fact that I have other reasons for why I am also a target. How many stories have you ever seen on the internet where there's I think I saw it a week or 2 ago. There was a deaf man who was shot while doing sign language. I didn't click on the article, so I don't remember exactly how they tried to explain that away. But, that was horrible. And that kind of thing happens all the time, right? You hear about autistic, nonverbal people who are attacked and whatnot. You hear of psychotic people. Everyone thinks mentally ill people are dangerous, and therefore they shoot them and kill them. It's horrible, but it happens all the time. But you rarely hear about it. But every time someone dies, it's on the news for a race thing or something like that. The point is, I'm not mitigating what happens because of race and the issues that people have with it. But I am saying there are other reasons that people are targeted and stereotyped and stigmatized and prejudiced against in the world. And, you know, it's important to not lose sight of that because it's very true for other people. And I can relate just because it's not about my skin color. I can still relate to a lot of what the issues are. So, those are my thoughts about some of the recent events. I didn't really plan on going 40 minutes into it, but you know me. Everything I do is long-winded. So, that's about it. I'll see you soon in the next video. I'm not going to say what it's going to be about because I really don't know. I have some ideas, but I'm not going to commit to anything because I don't want to disappoint and I want a surprise. So come back soon for a new mental health, educational, fun video. And if you have any ideas for videos you'd like to see from me, you can leave a comment on this or other videos or send a message, and I'll be sure to keep it in mind. So, see you soon. Stay safe.